Welcome to the Prosperity Podcast for entrepreneurs who are ready to drop the hustle and earn more. I'm your host, Danielle Amos, business and success coach, certified Proctor Gallagher Institute consultant, and lifestyle entrepreneur. Each week, I'll bring you amazing entrepreneurs who have built wealth, harnessing the power of their mind. Prosperity and money are truly about energy, and I'm on a mission to help you create financial abundance through the power of thought. It's time we started normalizing conversations about money and create the wealth that is yours. Are you ready? Let's do this. Welcome to episode 146 of the Prosperity Practice, the podcast that has you living your most abundant life. Today, I am sharing with you a clip from an online event that I did for thousands of people. And this session got such incredible feedback that I knew I had to share it with you. In this episode, I talk about how success is 95% because of the mindset and the energy that you are in. And only 5% of any person's success is due to their action or their strategy. This is really important because most people ask, wow, you did that, you got that goal, you made $1 million. What did you do? And it's because we've been programmed by society to believe that action is more important than anything. It's like what we do matters, but it actually doesn't. Your energy behind the action matters most. And it's super important that a person takes responsibility for your life and learn how to discipline your mind and master your mindset for success. And this is exactly why we have our upcoming webinar in just a couple of weeks. It's an online event, a masterclass, because I am a master at teaching people how to master their mindset. So you're invited. Join us for free. Use the link in the show notes and share it. You're going to love this episode. It is exactly where and what you need to listen to now because you attracted it to you. So trust that, enjoy it, and I'd love to hear your feedback. Enjoy. Why are you getting the results in your life right now? Well, success is 95% due to your mindset and 5% due to your action and strategy. What do we mean by that? Where you are right now is a result of the way that you've been thinking, feeling, and acting. In fact, your right now reality is old news. If thoughts become things, which they do, actually, thoughts are things. And Bob Proctor was quoted as saying, if you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Thinking and the way that you've been thinking, what you've been saying to yourself in private shows up in your reality. We think in secret, but it comes to pass. Our environment is but our looking glass. A quote by James Allen. You may be thinking that you've been thinking in secret, but I can tell exactly the way you've been thinking by what is in your physical world. The money in your bank account, the health, your relationships, your weight, even all of it is a result of your thinking. Now you might say, wait a minute, I'm going to show this is true. And the moment you take responsibility for this idea, you become the master of your fate. You hold the keys to the kingdom. The moment you stop blaming anything outside of you for your current results, you take your power back. Now, I know this for myself. I've done it. I stopped playing victim to the things in my outside world, and I took responsibility for this. I learned to discipline my mind, master my mindset. And since then, I went from being over $100,000 in debt to a multimillionaire. And not only did I do it for myself, I've taught clients how to do it for themselves. I literally transformed my thinking and the way I thought about myself. And then my outside world changed. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So each of us in our mind has a thermostat, a setting. This thermostat is just like the thermostat you have on the wall. Let's say it is winter or any time of year really, and your thermostat set for 70, let's say 75 in the US and 20 degrees in Canada. And it's winter and someone leaves the door open and the cold air rushes in and the temperature goes way down to 65 and let's say 15 degrees in the house. Well, what happens is automatically, you don't need to do anything. The thermostat kicks in the furnace and the temperature goes back to its setting. Wouldn't you agree? Same thing in the summer. It's hot outside. The windows have been left open and it goes up to 30 degrees Celsius or 95 degrees Fahrenheit, and the air conditioning kicks in to bring it back to its setting. You have the same sort of setting in your mind. That setting is for your weight, for your income. This is why we see results going up and down, and it can be frustrating. Who's experienced this? We see this all the time in a salesperson. They have one really great month, commissions, and it goes way up. Then the next month, nothing. Next month up, then maybe up again, then down, nothing. By the end of the year, you'll have your average income that you've always earned back to the thermostat setting. This can be very frustrating because a person could be studying all the sales books, going to all the classes, and yet by the end of the year, they've averaged what they've always averaged. Take a moment to think about this in your own life. If you've got a job, have you been earning about the same amount of money every year, year after year? Doesn't matter how hard you work, the results are the same. Same thing for weight. So why is this? Well, you've been programmed. This is all part of your self-image. We, as human beings, have all been programmed. We received a program when we were kids. Between the ages of 0 and 7, you were programmed by your parents, by your caregivers, by your teachers, by the media, the things that were said around you and the experiences you had as a little kid created the paradigm or programming that you have in your mind. This paradigm or programming is your habitual behavior. And now as adults, we are walking, talking habitual beings. In fact, we are unconscious 96 to 97% of the time. Think about this. You wake up and you go through the actions all day long. You're reacting and it's habitual. Most of your life is habitual. Therefore, most of the things you think, say, do, react, it's all controlled by your paradigm or your programming. Now think about this. Your parents, they did the best that they could. Your school teachers did the best they could. They can't give what they don't have. But think about this as it relates to money, as it relates to your relationships. How much money did your parents earn? Are you earning something very similar? Did you hear things like money doesn't grow on trees, or how are you going to get that? And now you hear yourself saying that to your kids. All of the things that you experience, even the language you speak, the first language was programmed into you. You didn't have a choice. Now, like I said, your parents did the best they could. So it's not to blame your parents. It's to recognize the environment in which you were raised and the programming you received as a child. Now, you cannot get out of being programmed. We're all programmed. And some people had a more prosperous upbringing than others, and others had worse than you. It's not a competition. There's no right or wrong here. What there is to recognize is that you were given a program, a paradigm, and now, unless that paradigm has shifted, you are operating from that same programming that you were given as a child. And we see this. If you look in your life, you're going to see patterns, habitual behaviors, and you'll see very much that this is true. Now, because your paradigm is your unconscious, your subconscious mind, it's in your subconscious mind, it's how you've been habitually showing up in your life. 96 to 97% of the time, you're unconscious and being controlled by that paradigm, that programming. Only 3 to 5% of the time are you in your conscious mind. So that means that your current results, your current life, is a result of that programming, that paradigm. And therefore, we can see right now, your life right now is a result of this paradigm, your current mindset. And so in order to change your life, you must change the programming. You must go to the root cause of your life experience. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. Now, let's just get into what it is that you want. If you can tell me what you want in life, I can show you how to get it. What do you want to have? What do you want to do? Who do you want to be? And I encourage you to dream as big as possible. Have the courage to admit your desires to yourself. This is what I know to be true. If you desire something, it is for you. Your inner being, your truth cannot give you a desire unless you are meant to have it. So if I had a magic wand, which I do, and you do as well, in a universe where anything is possible, what do you want? If you knew that the neighbors wouldn't judge, or your parents wouldn't judge you, or your sisters or brothers or best friends, high school friends wouldn't judge you for having it or doing it or being it, what is it that you want? If you didn't have to figure out the how, what is it that you want? Tap into your imagination and close your eyes. Listen to your heart. What is it that you want? Would you like to 10x or 100x your income? I've seen people do that. Would you like to run a marathon or build a business from scratch? Would you like to impact millions of people around the world? Would you love to build schools in Africa, or go and visit the Eiffel Tower, fly in a private jet, or become a philanthropist? Whatever it is, is that true for you, your desire, you can have it. So your first step is to really get connected to what it is that you want and build a beautiful picture in your mind, and you can have it all. So do that. Take some time to take pen to paper. Writing causes thinking, and we think in pictures. And if you can create the picture in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. This is by law. The only reason why you're not experiencing those things that you dream of is that you're not yet a match for them. In your mind, the way you see yourself is not yet a match. And so we got to change that. Your current paradigm isn't the paradigm. Your current programming is not the programming to achieve that. And the good news is you can shift it. You can change it. You have the power to think. And it's possible for you to master your mindset. It's going to take a little work. And that's what I'm here to show you how to do. So, how to get you from where you are right now to where you want to go. First, you have to understand that your current results are because of your past thinking, the way that you're showing up right now. And I'm going to give you an example. Let's say right now you're earning $50,000 a year. The person that's earning $50,000 a year, but's dreaming to 10x their income, $500,000 a year. So right now, 50,000, dream 500,000. Wouldn't you agree that the thoughts you're thinking at 50,000 are not the same as the $500,000 version of you? Can you see the difference? At $50,000 a year, you are thinking that a $50 bill is a lot. You are thinking that a dinner out for $500 would be crazy. You are most likely shopping at the grocery store, maybe even finding coupons. At 500,000, you're shopping at Whole Foods and maybe not clipping the coupons. Instead of driving the Toyota, which there's nothing wrong with this, it's just the difference. I drove a Toyota for a long time. $50,000 version Danielle drove a Toyota, shopped at Zara and Aritzia, worried about money all the time, clipped the coupons, didn't talk about money because she was embarrassed about it, went on vacation camping and drove to Florida, versus $500,000 version of Danielle, shopped at Whole Foods, bought organic things, stopped shopping at Aritzia. Well, I still do, but bought a Gucci sweater, traded her Toyota in for a Tesla, flew first class, went to Italy instead of, and still camped actually, flew to Florida first class instead of driving. She makes decisions based on desire, doesn't worry so much about money, doesn't seem like the $500 phone bill is a big deal. See the difference? We exist as human beings. We're actually spiritual beings in this human body, having a human experience, not the other way around. Often we say, I'm a human having a spiritual experience. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. Abundance is your birthright. And we exist on 3 planes: your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, your spirit, your intellect, and your physical. You got to break it down. At $50,000 right now, what am I thinking? How am I feeling? And how am I acting? Notice that those 3 levels and the combination of that is producing your right now experience of life. The physical world is just a projection of what's going on here. So your thoughts plus feelings of actions is producing your right now reality. And the root cause of that right now reality is actually the programming that you received as a child, your paradigm. So in order to earn $500,000 a year or 10x your income, you've got to get connected to that place. And there is a place. So you start to imagine, what would it be like if I earned $500,000 a year? Now, you're not going to know for sure because you've never done it before. And you were given a marvelous imagination. Most of us, our imagination is weak because our imagination is a mental muscle. And as we shifted, as we grew up, as kids, we had a magnificent imagination, didn't we? It ran wild. The muscle in our mind was strong. And then we were told to become realistic. And over time, for a lot of us, unless you're very creative, for a lot of us, our imagination becomes weak and we become more logical. I want you to fire up, strengthen your imagination again. Go to your mind and imagine, what if I did earn $500,000 a year? What would I think? What would I feel about myself, about money, about life in general? What would that feel like? Write it down. And what would I be doing? And notice the gap from where you are now and where you want to go. Notice the gap in your thoughts, your feelings, and actions. And then it's your job to bridge that gap and literally become the person in your thoughts, feelings, and actions that matches the life you want to be living. As Neville Goddard says in The Power of Awareness, you need to be able to take yourself to the end goal and view the world from the end. So you don't think of $500,000 a year from down here, because now you're in a different frequency. You're in the frequency of $50,000 a year. Looking up at 500,000, you don't think of it, you think from it. So go in your mind's eye and think from 500,000 and look down to where you are now and ask, how did I get here? That question will give you a lot of hindsight. And yeah, it's in your imagination. Yes, you're pretending first in your mind. That's the first step. Everything in this universe has been created twice. First in the imagination of a person, of a human being, and then in our physical world. A great example is this iPhone. It was the dream of Steve Jobs' mind, and then it showed up in the physical world. This is true for absolutely everything that exists in our physical world. So build the picture of what it is that you want in your mind first. And then you've got to create a new paradigm, a new program that matches the desire that you want. Now, the tricky thing is as you go out and act in that new way, as you go out and go test drive the Tesla or go and respond in the way of your goal achieved, this paradigm, the current way of being, your habitual self, is a con artist. It wants to keep you safe. In fact, a prime directive of the subconscious mind is to keep you safe. So literally, as you go out and act in a new way, it's going to remind you that you're not safe. And it's going to try and bring you back. It's going to try and stop you from going after the very thing you say you want. And how it does that is it fills your mind with fear, doubt, and worry, which can even lead to anxiety. In society, we're told that anxiety is bad, so we let go of the dream. Most of us will. The fear, doubt, and worry takes over so much that we let go of what we want, and we say, it's too much. You know what? 500,000, I don't need that. What about 75,000? And we settle. We settle because we don't understand how the mind actually works. What's happening when the fear, doubt, and worry comes into your mind is it's actually a good sign. It's showing you that right now, the image that you have of yourself right now at $50,000 a year is not a match for $500,000 a year. It's not the same. And so as you bring the goal into your mind and you get emotionally involved with this image, you get hijacked. Fear, doubt, and worry enters, and it's just to keep you down. So instead of letting go of this beautiful goal, what you want to do is change the image that you have of yourself to become a match for the life that you desire. And how do you do that? Well, that's exactly what I teach you how to do in our programs. This is self-image work. This is paradigm shifting work. And you can do it. I promise you. It takes discipline, and success is a system. There's a method to it. And I'm happy to show you how to do it. All right. What did you think? I can't wait to hear your feedback from this. Like I said, we got such great reviews from this online event where I spoke. Thousands of people from around the world reached out to us, and the listeners were so grateful how simple this knowledge is, but so effective. So please help us share this, share the podcast, share your ahas, ask questions, and be sure to grab your affiliate link for the upcoming masterclass. Add a stream of income by becoming one of our affiliates. Yes, the masterclass is free. And if you're the person that introduced someone into our world who then purchases a program with us, you'll be paid. We'll thank you for that referral. All right, we'll see you on the inside. Thank you so much, and expect abundance.